Imagine a cathedral, its ceiling stretching toward the sky, its walls standing for centuries, hundreds of tons of stone inside, and right at its center, a pipe organ playing. The sound rises, the vibration of the pipe strikes the walls, the floor begins to tremble ever so slightly. Now let me ask you something. When you heard that sound, did you ever wonder what the stone felt? Because some researchers say that stone actually has an answer to that question. And that answer might explain one of history's greatest secrets. What I'm about to tell you today is not written in official textbooks. But if you keep watching, you may never look at anything that has ever been built the same way again. Sound is a physical force. Everyone knows that. When you stand in front of a speaker, you feel how the sound shakes your entire body. A powerful enough frequency can shatter a glass. But what about stone? This question has occupied the minds of people searching for answers for centuries. There is a chain stretching from ancient Egypt to Mesopotamia, from medieval Europe to the temples of India, and at every link of that chain, one common thing stands out: sound. Sacred music, ritual bells, mantras, the vibration of pipes. Were these merely spiritual symbols, or were they part of something far more functional? We need to think a little deeper. To understand this, we need to go back in time. When the cathedrals of the Middle Ages were being built, architects designed their acoustics not by accident, but by intention. Think about the interior volumes of Notre Dame, Cologne Cathedral, Salisbury. In these structures, sounds at specific frequencies resonate at precisely defined points. The walls, the columns, the domes, all of them were calculated according to specific vibration frequencies. So who made these calculations? With what technology? And why has this knowledge disappeared today? This is where the pipe organs come in. The organ inside a cathedral is not merely a musical instrument. Some researchers, particularly those working in acoustic engineering, argue that the infrasonic frequencies produced by organ pipes, vibrations that the human ear cannot hear but the body can feel, create a physical effect on stone structures. And this effect is not just a sense of vibration. Stone pulses like living skin. When you first heard this phrase, you may have smiled and found it absurd. But the findings of the researchers who discovered this concept point to something fascinating. Certain types of stone, when exposed to specific frequencies, actually generate an electrical charge due to the piezoelectric effect. Crystalline granite, basalt-containing quartz. When these stones vibrate, they emit a wave of energy like a living organism. Stone soft as cloth points to an even more startling claim. At the ruins of Sacsayhuamán in ancient Peru, there are massive stones interlocked with one another. Not even a blade can pass through the gaps. Even with modern construction machinery, placing stones with this level of precision is extraordinarily difficult, bordering on impossible. So how did ancient people do this? The official answer says, the power of labor. But some researchers say something different, that through sound and resonance, the molecular structure of stone was temporarily softened and shaped. This theory has not been proven, but it has not been ruled out either. Because in laboratory settings, ultrasonic vibrations have been observed to increase the fluidity of certain materials. Now we come to an even bigger question. If this knowledge truly existed, why doesn't it exist today? The answer may be hidden in one of history's greatest paradoxes: erased technology, deleted technology. Throughout history, whenever great shifts in power occurred, the knowledge of the defeated vanished along with them. Libraries were destroyed. Writings were burned. Masters were killed or silenced. But here is what's truly interesting. Traces of this sonic technology appear repeatedly in the mythology of different cultures. In ancient Egypt, Heka, the art of commanding matter through sound. In Tibet, accounts of monks levitating stones through the air. In the Old Testament, the trumpets that brought down the walls of Jericho. Are all of these legends? Perhaps. But perhaps they are a real technology that, over time, transformed into mythology. And this is where cathedrals re-enter the stage, this time in a far greater role. Consider this. In medieval Europe, within just a few hundred years, hundreds of massive cathedrals were built, most of them in geographically distant locations, yet constructed with nearly identical architectural principles, all positioned along specific ley lines, all designed with acoustic perfection, all built directly above underground water sources. Is this coincidence? Some researchers argue that these structures go far beyond coincidence, that they are part of a global system, the worldwide power grid. According to this theory, cathedrals were frequency centers that collected and redistributed the electromagnetic energy of the Earth, and the pipe organs were the active components of this system. Just as an antenna broadcasts a specific frequency, the organs inside cathedrals generated vibrations at specific frequencies, setting the entire structure into resonance. Underground formations discovered near Niagara Falls, accidentally, and referred to as the hidden energy chambers, add a fascinating dimension to this theory. These chambers, surrounded by naturally occurring piezoelectric stone blocks, have been observed to respond to specific water vibration frequencies. Coincidence? Or the remnants of an ancient grid that has survived to the present day? Let's return to megalithic structures. Stonehenge, Gobeklitepe, Pumapunku. Some of the stones used in these structures were transported and brought from hundreds of kilometers away, weighing tens of tons. Even with today's technology, placing these stones with the same precision is a monumental engineering challenge. Official history says this was accomplished through massive human labor and primitive tools. But the numbers don't add up, because the workforce and logistics required for some of these stones far exceed the population available at the time. This is precisely where the sound and resonance theory offers a different solution. Perhaps these stones were never truly carried. Perhaps they were drawn, lifted, and shaped into place through vibration. Acoustic levitation is a real phenomenon in laboratory settings today for small objects. It is not yet possible for large objects, but that does not mean it was never possible. And now we reach the deepest question of all. Was this sonic technology used only for construction? No. Sound was also at the heart of ancient medicine. The singing bowls still used in Tibet today vibrate at specific frequencies, resonating with the organs of the human body. Every organ has a frequency. The liver vibrates at one frequency, the heart at another, the brain at yet another. When sounds aligned with these frequencies are applied, according to ancient healers, the body repairs itself. Modern biophysics does not entirely dismiss this idea, because the vibrational frequencies of cells are a measurable reality. Now consider this. If stone can pulse like living skin, if sound can temporarily alter the molecular structure of stone, then what might its effect on the human body be? Perhaps ancient cathedrals, perhaps Egyptian temples, perhaps Tibetan monasteries were not merely places of worship. Perhaps they were healing centers. Perhaps the frequency of sound was reorganizing both stone and humans simultaneously. Construction technology, medicine, and energy generation, all unified within a single system. And that system, somehow, at some point, was pushed out of history. Why? How? By whom? And is it still among us? The answers continue to vibrate inside the stones. For those who wish to hear, thank you for listening and watching this far. And never forget, everything has a frequency.